I'm pretty sure this is the number one characteristic of people that are successful. When I look up to any artist, any business founder, any musician, any creator, you have to understand you see them at the top of their game, the top of their success, but what you don't see is all the no's. And if you want to have success like that, which I know you do, which I know you're completely capable of if you're watching this video, just know that we need to work on our tolerance for rejection together. And that's why today is all about rejection therapy and how to get the fuck over rejection so that you can get the fuck out of your own way, so that you can actually become successful and accomplish your dreams without all the unconscious fears getting in your way. What is up, guys, and welcome back to today's episode of Skinny Dipping. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kayla Rose. I'm the podcast host of Skinny Dipping, and we are new to YouTube. If you're watching the video on YouTube and you see my gorgeous dahlias right here that I got, or if you're watching the video on Spotify, or if you're listening from Apple Podcasts, if you're one of our hundreds of thousands of subscribers and listeners who are tuning back in with us, hey girl. I'm so happy to have you, and I'm just so excited whenever you find episodes you love and you come back. And if you're new, hey, I'm so happy to have you here. We love to talk about mental health and spirituality. I love to talk about science, but I also love to talk about the woo-woo and the energetics behind it. And I love to combine it both to just find what feels like an aligned truth for me and hoping that others resonate. So I'm so incredibly excited. Today we're talking about rejection therapy, embarrassment therapy. We're talking about just being able to receive no's so that you can receive yeses. Being able to learn how to handle rejection so that you can align and attract and receive the opportunities that you deserve. Because if you're not willing to put yourself in a place of rejection, sometimes that ends up blocking us from the opportunities that are wanting us, that are coming for us, that are aligned with us. So never forget that every no leads to a more soul-aligned yes. And I have some really fun notes today to dive into just about examples. I really want to prep your mind to understand this concept, and then we're going to be getting into actual actionable ideas for weekly rejection therapy. And not all of these are necessarily rejection therapy like what you would see on TikTok, but it's just to increase your window of tolerance for rejection, to increase your ability to handle any judgmental feedback, any rejection, any no's, any cringe, any embarrassment. I call it the embarrassment callus. And I've talked about this before in past episodes, but the Skinny Dippers, you guys know that the embarrassment callus is so incredibly important. And I think about it because I grew up as a dancer, and they would make us in contemporary dance without shoes, without socks, so that we would create calluses on our feet so that we could turn on our feet. And I think about that with the embarrassment callus, that you're creating this level of protection by exposing yourself to judgment, by exposing yourself to embarrassment, by exposing yourself to the potential of rejection or just feeling cringe in any way, by exposing yourself to that. The exposure therapy is everything. What happens is we create this callus within our hearts, within our minds, where we realize that judgment cannot stop us. That embarrassment cannot stop us, because the most successful people, the reason that they are so freaking successful is because they have learned that opportunities come with inevitable rejection along the way. Success comes with inevitable failures along the way. Any ounce of recognition that they're going to receive is going to come with rejection, or any amount of success that they're going to receive and achieve and create for themselves is going to come with inevitable quote unquote failures. And by prepping your mind to be capable to handle rejection is going to in turn make you more successful. And I truly believe that every single no leads to a more soul-aligned yes. And of course, you can tell your brain that over and over again, but you have to create this exposure therapy to actually prove to your brain that it is safe to be rejected. Because of course, when we look at the evolution, when we look at the science behind it, when we look at how the brain has evolved to receive rejection, we see okay, Back in the day when we were in tribes, when we were cavemen, we wanted to be liked and well received and accepted by our communities because for us, that meant safety. Community equaled strength in numbers, which equaled safety. So the fear of rejection is this very real and alive fear within us that I don't want to just disregard because it comes from this evolutionary root within us that is so afraid of being rejected or not being included in a group because it makes us truly feel unsafe. And we want to acknowledge that kind of monkey mind, that evolutionary brain part of us that is coming up and say, like, first of all, I hear you. Like, it is so valid to have created this fear around rejection. And also you have to know and let your brain know over and over again that you are safe. And the truth is, you can tell your brain that you're safe to be rejected, you're safe to be embarrassed, you're safe to be misunderstood. But you have to actually practice it and embody it for your body to actually begin to feel safe, not just your brain, but your body and your nervous system. So I'm going to talk about in the end of this episode, actual ideas that you can do for rejection therapy or just as exposure therapy to embarrassment or feeling cringe or receiving some sort of no or yeah. I love like the quote, like the saying on TikTok where people see someone that is like really bold in public and they're like, social anxiety is afraid of you. That cracks me up because I am not that person. I actually do get nervous in public, but I also am willing to do like a silly, crazy thing and put myself out there for exposure therapy. So you need to channel that girl on TikTok that you see and you're like, social anxiety is afraid of her because she is just so bold. She's so willing to put herself out there. And by practicing and embodying that, eventually it just feels more natural. It feels less scary. And that's what I want for you today. You can look at Doja Cat. We love our girl. She had like the song Moo go crazy viral as a meme in 2018. And so many people were like, yeah, this girl is just giving like meme culture, like not giving artists. And there was a lot of judgment and backlash from critics just kind of saying that she was embarrassing, that she was cringe. And then a year later, after all that backlash in 2019, she had Say So and it went huge on the charts. And I do believe that sometimes the rejection is almost this like spiritual initiation period, so that you can learn the lessons that you need to learn so that you can step into this next expansive moment of your life. And it kind of looks like that's what happened for Doja here. And now she is a true artist. Like listening to her music videos, she is a visionary, she's an artist, and other people didn't understand it or get it at first with Moo, but now she's killing it. We can also look at Squid Games, which is not my favorite type of show. My boyfriend really likes it. It's not really for me because I don't really like gore and horror. But when I was researching rejection, I saw that the Squid Game script was rejected for over 10 years. People were like, we can't do this. It's too gory. Or we can't do this. Like, it's not real enough. Like, they got rejected for so many different reasons. And now it is one of the most successful shows that Netflix has ever had. So the reason that I bring this all up to you now, and I bring these examples to you, is because I truly believe in order to prep our mind for manifestation, right, and creating the things that we want to create, and changing and altering our mindset around rejection and embarrassment, we first need to create proof for our brain. Proof that says, okay, it happened to these people. They went through it. They went through the rejection. They had a million no's, and now they have so much success. And by prepping your brain and showing yourself that it is possible for you too, you're going to make your body feel more safe to actually take action in your rejection therapy. So now let's get into the 3 mindset reframes that you need to channel for just truly getting ready for this rejection therapy that we're all gonna do together this week. Right, girl? Right? We're in this together. We're on this together. Okay, number 1. So where past you and me may have been taught to believe that failure is the end all be all, that it is soul crushing, that it is career ending, that it is all or nothing. That is a lie. That is a programming meant to keep you stuck and small. And the truth is, the reframe is, failure is a stepping stone for success. And when you realize this, you no longer fear the chance of failure. You see every single mess up or fuck up as an opportunity to learn and to grow and get better at your craft and get better at the process. And it is life-changing when you start to realize that failure is not something to be scared of. It is something to actually embrace, because when you get used to it and then you get to try things out, trial and error, and refine your craft and refine your project or your business or your art or whatever it is, you see it as refinement. Failure truly is refinement. That is what it is. And it doesn't work out because you needed to learn something and fix something, or you needed to shift, and just really fucking trusting in that. Okay, number 2. Where past you may have been taught to believe that rejection is a reason to not go after something, or it's a sign that it's not meant for you. Literally bullshit. Anybody who has ever believed that has kept themselves from the dreams that were waiting for them on the other side of the leap of faith, because the truth is that rejection is always redirection. Rejection is always redirection, and you may have heard it a million times, but I hope to say it and explain it now in a way that truly makes sense to you, because you have to understand. Like for me, okay, for example, if I did not get, not the word is rejected, but maybe rejected or abandoned by somebody in my life, then I would not have the success of the podcast that I do now. I wouldn't have recorded at Spotify studios. I wouldn't have traveled to Europe and recorded with my dream guests. I wouldn't have done all these things in the butterfly effect of life if I wasn't rejected by a certain person or by a certain organization because I thought that I wanted certain things. But the truth is, you have to understand that your monkey mind, your little human brain, cannot possibly comprehend the big picture of the way that the universe and source and spirit and your guides and your ancestors and God are like pulling strings for you behind the scenes. Like, we can't even fully comprehend the big scope and the bigger picture of our path and our purpose in this life. So we need to just insanely trust that every rejection is a redirection to our most aligned path, and every no leads to a more soul-aligned yes. The third mindset shift is, if you want to be seen, right? If you want to have credit and visibility for your creations, if you want to be seen, you have to be willing to be seen in it all. That means the come up. That means the moments where you're getting like 0 views on a video, or when nobody buys your offering or your program, or like, it's about putting yourself out there and being seen, even with the possibility that it won't necessarily go the way that you planned. Like, for example, I was so nervous to post on YouTube. And then I was like, oh my God, we almost have 10,000 views on that video within a week. That is literally crazy. I did not expect that at all. I was so mentally prepared to be rejected by YouTube. And I'm just so grateful the algorithm is welcoming me in with open arms. But I was so prepared to have less than 100 views and for nobody to see it. And that's okay. And because I put myself out there, and I did that, look at this plane coming overhead. I always think that planes coming by, it's a helicopter, is a sign that you're about to take off. Like, can we just take this like helicopter moment as a sign that if you put yourself out there, okay, we're gonna wait for it to pass 1 second. But I feel like this is a sign. Like with YouTube, I was so okay with being rejected, and I knew that I was going to have to be consistent in order to grow. And it completely surprised me. And I all of a sudden had so many people that were new listeners from YouTube listening to Skinny Dipping. And it made me so grateful and so excited that I put myself out there and I took that leap of faith, and I was willing to flop. And being willing to flop leads you to being willing to succeed. And if you want to be seen, you have to be willing to be seen in it all, even when there's a flop era, knowing that when your moment hits, because it's never going to be like, oh, one moment breakout, but of course there's going to be big moments. But I like to think of success as like a snowball, and it's like at the top of a mountain, and as it begins to pick up speed and roll, it begins to pick up more snow, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And success is compounding in that way. It's all about momentum and consistency, and seeds that you planted months ago or even years ago can later come to fruition. And just so trusting in that path and knowing, yeah, if you want to be seen, you have to be willing to be seen fully, even in the come up. So why did I pick this episode? I am currently almost sold out with the Bali retreat that I'm co-hosting with one of my best friends who does House of Muse, Madison. And we're going to be creative hot girls in Bali. And we only have a couple spots left if a couple of you are interested at all. But it has been the greatest lesson of rejection therapy, because sometimes people just can't come to Bali. Like, it's super far away. It's honestly expensive to get to. The retreat itself is an investment, and I'm so grateful for every person who's ever invested in a retreat with me. And I just pray that it always returns tenfold and they feel the intention and the transformation that comes, because retreats are 1,000% worth the money, but not everybody can do it with their current circumstances. And I totally understand that. So in this, I've been having to learn to be really excited about seeing a girl, get excited about Bali, and then maybe I'm ghosted by somebody. Or maybe somebody wants to chat, but they're not actually serious about coming. Or maybe it's just a full-on no. Or maybe they just see it and they don't even respond. And I've had to learn to get really comfortable with the rejection in this. And I've realized, oh my God, this is teaching me so much about life in general, because I've realized that every single person that says no leads to the sister that is supposed to be there, leads me to the person that is supposed to be there, that feels like a full body yes for them. And that's what I want for them. I want whoever is there to feel like it's a full body yes, and that they're so excited. And the truth is, every person that is a no just leads to me meeting the people that I am meant to meet within this experience. So I've just been putting myself out there a lot. And in that, especially as like a creator or like an influencer, like sometimes people don't always see you as human, and like you'll talk for a while and they will ghost you and you're like, oh, I'm actually a person behind the screen. But the truth is, like, I just need to get used to it. And I'm also working for this other company where we are creating amazing product. I can't get into it right now, but it is for spiritual creators. And I have been doing outreach for that. And I literally sent a message to somebody about it, and she responded with a laughing emoji. And I literally wanted to say, what's funny? But I think she was just like not happy that I slid into her DMs with a business inquiry. Like, she wanted to be friends. And the truth is, like, people will misunderstand you. People will reject you. People will sometimes laugh in your face. And I'm okay with that. Like, the amount of people that probably from my high school or from my like later teens, early 20s that have seen my social media or my podcast and have made fun of me, like, is probably a good handful of people. And I truly have gotten to the point where I don't care, because I know that my bank account is laughing at them. No, but actually though, like, when you start to do this, you're like, oh my God, when I put myself out there, when I'm willing to be rejected, my bank account actually grows, because I feel more secure. I feel more confident. I open myself up to more opportunity. And it is just literally a crazy domino effect that just puts you into a place of power and success in your life. So that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this in this episode. And I just wanted to give you a little personal insight of me actually doing the thing and being willing to be rejected, because it works. And I'm not as scared anymore to reach out to people. And yeah, it's honestly really exciting, and it feels really good, especially with the YouTube thing. Like I told you guys, like, it ended up working out great. And I hope you can see that if you put yourself out there, like, yes, it could flop or you could be rejected, but also it could go great. And you have to give yourself the opportunity for it to go well by acknowledging that it also might not and being okay with that. So, final part, guys, let's get into the actionable ideas. Also, like, my little cute outfit I'm wearing. Let's get into the actionable ideas for this. The first thing that I wrote down is apply for a job you're underqualified for. Number 2 is dress up crazy and go somewhere in public just cuz, in a fun little crazy colorful outfit. Number 3, message someone famous on Instagram. And not in like a weird fan way, but just in a way that's like, oh my God, I love what you're doing. It's so cool. Because I did that with somebody. They just had the reality show premiere, The Sisters, Brooke. I don't know how to pronounce their last name, but I've been seeing them everywhere. And I messaged her and she messaged me back. And I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. The next thing isn't really about rejection, but it's more about just getting used to people seeing you and getting used to the possibility of people judging you for seeing you. And I want you to share a story or a TikTok about a project that you're working on for work or an art project or a personal self-development project. I want you to share and just get used to being seen. You know, get used to seeing lurkers watching you, because the truth is, like, you got to get used to it. Like, if you want to be seen in a bigger way, you have to be willing to be misunderstood or be judged or be cringed. So share a story or a TikTok about a project you're working on. This is just exposure therapy, this one. Okay, number 5. Ask to get on someone's boat or jet ski. I had a friend talk to me about this where she was saying her friend like asked to get on somebody's boat and then she went on. And most people are going to say no, but you never know. You might end up on a boat. The next thing that is more rejection therapy based is asking for something for free or asking for a discount. And this is just really about learning how to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And you never know. You could get a free matcha. Might as well. You could always be like, can I get your employee discount? And then they're gonna be like, no. And you're gonna be like, oh, I was just practicing rejection therapy. Like, thanks for saying no. And then it won't even be awkward. It'll be funny. Pretend it's a bit. Remember to be the girl that social anxiety is afraid of. You are not afraid of social anxiety. Social anxiety is afraid of you. Another thing that you could do is reach out to a mentor or somebody and ask them to get on like a 30-minute call with you, somebody that you would want to like learn from, because that could be a moment of rejection or ghosting, or it could be a moment that could be huge for you. If you have any more ideas, I feel like you guys probably have better ideas than me in some aspect. I want you guys to drop them in the comments below, because I'm sure other people will be wanting to, try out your guys' ideas and let me know how it goes. You can message me at SundaysKK or at Skinny Dipping Diaries to tell me just how this episode impacted you, if you had any downloads, if you had any realizations, if you have any more ideas for rejection therapy. And make sure to, of course, like, comment, do all the things, share with somebody that you love, or share in your Instagram story and tag us at SundaysKK at Skinny Dipping Diaries. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, rejection therapy. Remember that when you create this tolerance, when you create this callus, where you realize you're no longer afraid of being rejected or getting that no or receiving that judgment or someone thinking that what you're doing is cringe, just realize that you become more free. You become more empowered, and in turn, you become more successful because you are more open to opportunities. And that's why this matters. That's why this is important. I love you guys so incredibly much. I'll see you guys next week. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. And for the people that are new here, for the people that are returning, just remember that you are inherently worthy. I love talking about all these things like success and manifestation and taking action and doing the damn thing. But the truth is, like, you don't have to do, be, or achieve anything to be worthy. And when you move from that place of this deep knowing that you are enough, and that's why you deserve to go for these things and create that callus and create that tolerance for it and create your own capability and confidence in yourself to put yourself out there, you realize this is a sign of self-respect. Rejection therapy is a sign of self-respect because you believe that you can do it and you're actually doing what it takes. Okay, I love you guys. See you next time on Skinny Dipping. Bye. Hey guys, I just finished recording the episode and I forgot to tell you, on top of the rejection therapy theme, I also created an EFT tapping video for rejection therapy. So you can actually rewire your brain. And right now in our community, we are doing 10 days of EFT tapping underneath 10 minutes for each video. And they're all on different topics, and the winner wins $111. So if you want to go get a free trial to the community, there's a 10-day free trial below. So go check it out. Okay, I'm gonna go record another episode. Bye.